It's the darkness. If it's dark, then that means this is another episode of the Losecast. And boy, did we ever tonight. It was quite possibly one of the most deflating attempts at competition I've ever been a part of. And I am not ever trying to come across as mean or not aggressive, but like I'm not trying to talk crap about the players on this team. I just want to kind of dissect and really go into a little more depth of thought about just this season, this team, and a game like this, just so I can have something to think about or go back to if I ever do need to think about matches that happened this season, which we've been on the losing side quite a bit. I think at this point our record is about 4-16 or 17 or 15. And I was telling one of my other coaches earlier that this has been one of my favorite seasons because I've gotten to really go in depth with my coaching of mechanics and trying to teach and coach volleyball IQ, and it hasn't really materialized into a ton of wins, but I have really had to search the souls of my coaching prowess and ideas and knowledge to try to keep trying to get this point across, or this skill, or it's my favorite because I will never forget this season, definitely. And it's a great group of players too. A ton of great personalities, not without its intense amount of drama from what I've heard. I'm just the assistant coach, so I'm not privy to every single detail, but I've heard enough to know that part is definitely maybe not helping the whole equation. But nevertheless, I was saying this is one of my favorite teams just because I'm learning about how to be a coach all over again. And you can really get exposed, I think, when you don't win a lot of matches and you're unsuccessful. But yeah, tonight was, I think, 13, 12, and maybe 11. Or both of those were 11 in the second and third. And just felt like we were sputtering most of the night. In the fourth set, or the third set, we came out and we got up 2-0, maybe 2. Yeah, maybe it was only 1-0. I think we were tied at 4 at one point. Then it kind of went out of hand after that. It was 7-4, 8-9, 10-4. Both the first and second set, we started out down 0-4 or 0-5, which is just as bad as it could probably possibly start. And it just felt like we had no real, motivation to pass was the vibe I was observing. For whatever reason, we struggled to pass. And that kind of equates to our setter struggling to get the ball location-wise. And, at the end of the day, our leading kill leader had 5 total and 5 errors. Everybody hit in the negative. Of the primary attackers, in the negative or zeroed out. And we just could not swing at any balls, get our middles any flush attacks. Just everything was sputtering. It took us 3 tries to do one thing right. And the other team just looked like it was just an hour-long extension of hitting lines. It seemed like wherever they chucked it to, it went down, or it went past, and we could not do anything right. And sitting back on the bench and watching that, it's kind of, I think the other team smelled like blood in the water, and then it was all they could do to just not be aggressive. They were just zipping the serve in, having their way with us when we'd have to free or chip it over, and we sent very few like in-system aggressive swings there that really challenged them. And did anybody try to, challenge their defense and send some weird swings or tips or rolls? Or no, I think we can only handle one type of play at a time, meaning like we can only handle being aggressive and swing, or we can only handle being conservative and just keeping the ball in it. I think we've failed to make the decision over and over again, depending on what the play is like. So that just tells me there's no ability to understand the play and the set quality and where we are in a match and who's over there, and keep track of personnel from the opponent's side, and just a very low volleyball IQ. But if we're saying that it's probably because most of our kids only play high school volleyball, and it's like something they do for 3 months and then pretty much don't do it for 9 months, and then they come back and try to do it again. And if that's true, that's fine. It's just like an activity for them, but we've always coached like a program which kind of prides itself on being a little bit more ready for show, I guess. And I was telling my other coach I was talking to, I'm just kind of embarrassed that I haven't been able to help more. And that if this is my last year with the girls for a while, like it's unfortunate that we go out like this. But I also am coming to the realization as I get older that like life, the universe doesn't really care about what you want, or that it's your last year for a little bit, or that anything. It's in your hands. And I guess if I wanted to be so special and we were going to be so good, like I needed to spend more time getting extra practice in for these kids and help develop practice plans that were a little more like in depth and efficient and targeted the things that we really need to work on. And I know now that this team could have benefited from a lot more practice and repetition to catch up to just how novice we are experience-wise, and focused practice plans that would be super helpful. And so it's okay. It's just hard to swallow. The whole season is such a first, so I guess I've been rather lucky. But my hat's off to coaches of schools that are year in and year out just like not great and don't have kids that want to compete and want to stop losing and want to be like, it's just a constant cycle of people just doing an activity, which I don't know if I could I don't know if I could do it for that long. If there was like, if I had more than one, I mean, the closest season I came to this was still a season that we ended up going to the playoffs. We like tied for third, so we had to do a playoff between those two teams to see who would get the third place team, and we won. We played at home, we won, and we got it. And then we went and lost in that first round, but it's always been at making the playoffs is like a non-negotiable. Like we have to do that. And so as it's getting closer and more definitive that we're probably not going to do it, it's hard for me to accept. And it's hard for me to accept that that's going to be the last team that my friend and I coach together, as I've been helping her with this level since like 2018. We've coached like, I don't know, what's that, 7 or 8 teams together. It's been super fun, and it's been successful year in and year out, if you ask me. But this is definitely falling into a different category. And I understand that, and I'll take it on the chin, and I understand it's going to happen from time to time, and we do live in a small town, but, I mean, it hasn't happened since my other friend's previous last year, and then the guy that took over for 2 seasons, they got 4th and 5th place 2 years in a row. So yeah, gosh, for 3 seasons straight we didn't go to the playoffs, and that's quite the drought. But when my friend took over, they got 3rd place that year, and then 2nd, and then 1st 2 times, and then just in there, at least 3rd place every year since 2017. So that was a nice run that we had going, and it's a shame that it has to come to an end. And I just keep, I guess, just hoping and wishing that the kids will turn a corner in a match or a tournament, and that there'll still be time. But I mean, at this point, I think even if we win all 3 matches, we still would probably land in 5th. We'd have to have like a lot of losses come from the teams ahead of us, and I just don't know if that's going to happen. So I'm a little bit disappointed, and I think also because I'm so wrapped up in this being my thing, and this being a huge part of my identity, and this being something I dedicate so much time to, in lieu of, I guess, other things. You know, I mean, I could be spending all this time with my children, and so obviously that's going to make me feel guilty. Makes you feel less guilty if you're winning a bunch and it's successful, but this is also something I was doing before my kids came along, and yeah, it just makes you feel crummy when you're just losing over and over again. Then also, 99% of the people aren't going to understand, you know, why you keep losing, and or that they have gotten better, but it doesn't show in wins. And get it to a loss for words at some point. Like I said, great kids, normal kids with flaws, kids that have drama going on, kids whose like parents are our parents and have issues as well. I don't know. I'm starting to realize just wishing and wanting a lot is not going to take the place of just grinding, I guess. Getting solid, perfectly planned practice in, and practice that's effective. And then I think this is also a favorite season of me because it's happening before a boy season. I can use all this as things that I can do, not do, and help and identify and focus up on for my boy season, and just how important every position's responsibilities are, and not to overlook that, not to ever assume that every player understands what they need to be doing at all times. Treat them like they don't until they prove that they have it. So it's the beginning of October right now. So I know I'll have a lot of time to think, and a lot of time to get something together outside of the season if I can coordinate it. But there's definitely something to be said for understanding the game from a coach's perspective, from a sideline perspective, from a visual perspective, maybe. Just understanding angles and I guess shoulder capability, what a shoulder can do and what a shoulder can't do, and what can a player do when the ball goes inside or outside the antenna, too far back. I think that's maybe why I like this sport so much. There's so many situations that take just fractions of a second to identify and react and be ready and then go make a play. Yeah, but tonight was over very quickly, and this felt like there was nothing that we could say that was motivating them, that was making it any better. Saw a few kids crying afterwards, which it doesn't make me feel better, but at least it gives me an outside chance to think that they maybe did care and they just didn't show up mentally, and that they just choked. They just choked on showing up and being competitive. But gosh, to play the first place team earlier this week, and I think played pretty well. And then I guess, we just played the second place team and just got absolutely annihilated. And I convinced myself that we could do it. We could beat them and then run the table and do it, but dropping down to sixth place through the first, that really had me concerned. We definitely had one of those matches in the first set, like up 20 to 19 to 13 or something, or 20 to 13, and coughed that one up, and it was no looking back after. But it also reminds me, it's like I've liked doing this so much for so long because we've been successful, and obviously, like, I was doing something right or helping do something right all those times, and every once in a while it just might not be the coaching. It literally could just be the capabilities of the personnel, and maybe they are trying their best, they're doing their absolute best, and this is their mental and physical capabilities, and this is where it is. And sometimes I think you just got to accept that, and it's just a little disappointing when you feel like you played good 2 days ago, and then this was a far cry from that. And usually in these Losecast eps, it's against a specific or two specific like rivalry, in-town rivalries, but driving a lot farther tonight, this wouldn't be considered a rivalry game, but it was a league game, and going home with a loss. I think we still only have one episode of Losecast that we actually won. But that's part of playing against another team. Only one team's gonna win. I'm just not used to just like rolling over so quickly, so often, so many times. It just kind of seems like a reoccurring theme this year. And I know there's 2 freshmen and 4 sophomores, and that is young for this sport, but it's hard to, like, once you're on the team though, you don't get to use that as a scapegoat for whether you're good or bad. Like, if you're on the team, you're on the team. You should play like as hard as possible, I guess if your coach isn't reiterating that point over and over, then maybe you don't understand, or maybe you don't play as hard as possible. Maybe you don't see the importance in diving for every ball. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay because I'm going to get home a little bit earlier than usual. But, yeah, it was a hard, like, post-match huddle to address them because, I mean, there was just so many things we struggled with that it was hard to, like, put some sort of bow on it. But I think we did fine. And I think they weren't too bothered by it, to be honest. Which is sad. I think it's just not an activity to me. It's so much more than that. And I pride myself on being pretty into it, pretty serious about it. I want to have serious fun. Excuse me. But I guess they don't. Lately I've been feeling tired and like worn thin. What does that mean? Meaning just like staying up super late, trying to hit my hours at work, and then like sometimes running in the morning, but not real. Like I haven't ran hardly at all in the last month, 5 weeks, which I'm pretty pissed about. Like I was hitting a good one in the summer, and like yeah, my shin or my shin splints were feeling a little bit, but I just not hitting that great like exercise, sleep, work, family time balance, and it's like super frustrating. These are all things you don't be told about in a 90-minute movie, that life is gonna be so like busy. Like in order to have a life, I think you kind of got to be busy, and then when we're not busy and we're just hanging around, like I feel like we should be busy, and we're like wasting life by not being out doing a bunch of stuff, bunch of activities, but pretty broke too. Like I don't have a ton of money to do all these fun things I keep telling myself, and then I'll tell myself just go do them and pay for them later. Just keep playing the credit card game, and it's not gonna matter that you saved a few bucks and didn't do something versus doing something and saved a few bucks, right? Like life is short. Like you should do everything like while you're young, while your kids are young, but we don't, and it's kind of depressing. I don't know how to just change my personality like that so abruptly. It's just be super hardworking and be super outgoing and be super okay with spending more than I make, and then feeling like comfortable with that, and feeling comfortable like going up to people and talking to them, and like I'll boil myself down to the simplest man, and I feel like that's not what one should want. I think someone should want to have a big social group with a lot of friends, people that have kids that everybody hangs out and eats and plays together and hangs together all the time, and everyone's okay with that, and everybody separates just to sleep, then wake up and do it over again. but I feel so much nerves about having to interact with other people that I'm embarrassed to even have these feelings, embarrassed to even be embarrassed, and it's like not a fun like place to live in your head about being constantly like worried about social situations and what to say and what to do, and just being, I guess, scared of confrontation in life. On top of that, I'm a male, so I shouldn't be any of those things, and I should earn a ton of money and be super like thankful, and too hesitant to just go down to the empty half glass. And I wish I wasn't, but I think, I don't know. It's hard for me to not compare myself to everyone around me. Think that I'm doing okay when I really feel like I'm not. Like I should be doing better. Should be making more money, spending more time with my wife and kids, spending more time with my family, trying to have friends and do all that, feeling guilty for not doing all that, not talking to people that were my friends back in the day or recently, like just feeling like a loner, like I really don't have anyone like to talk to, feeling super spoiled too, that I'm just like working for the family business and I get help from my parents, and that my parents are just like not impressed with my life and everything that comes with it, feeling like I'm second place to my brother's family and his kids, and the shadow that he's built. And I know I make all this up in my own head, but I don't know. I don't know where all that comes from. The like self-loathing or the like constant comparison I have to my parents or my brother, but I'm sure it's not healthy at all. I think I just keep hanging on to this coaching thing because it's only thing that I feel like it kind of separates me, and my parents seem to be like mildly interested in it and supportive. I don't say mildly interested, I mean they are. Like it gives them something to do, something to brag to people about, but gosh, I think I just would like to have the feeling of just feeling okay with all of this. And maybe just a little more financial freedom. And just the ability to do something that I choose. This job was chosen for me. Coaching was kind of chosen for me. Teaching was chosen for me. This car was chosen for me, even though I chose it. I chose it from my folks. It's good that nobody listens to this because it's usually just like this. It's pretty much just a poor me pity party. Which really isn't that bad. And obviously it's not like super emotional about it, or else I'd be crying. But yeah, a loss like that just kind of takes me down. Last week we won a couple matches, and albeit one day I almost was in a good mood, like in the morning, like dancing with my daughters while we were like getting ready for school and stuff. But yeah, the like staying up late and then getting up early and being tired, and the like being tired kind of doesn't keep you in the greatest mood. No, you just feel tired, kind of drug out. Not drug out, but like you're feeling worn, like paper rubbed over too much rock or something. Just you're not feeling well rested at all. In fact, I haven't been drinking for like I think almost 2 weeks at this point. So that's not it's not the issue at all right now. It's just busy life, and one thing is going a little bit differently than it usually does, and just kind of coming to terms with that. And all the great quotes about losing I've heard a lot this year as we keep losing, but like losing is like the first perspective to getting better, yada yada, which are all great. And I've really learned that frame of mind is super powerful when you lose or when you're unsuccessful, and that it's all how you view it, change it, and morph it, and frame it going forward. So I definitely learned that, and just how important it is, again, to specialize and identify the most important qualities and responsibilities of a position, if we're just talking volleyball related, and what to do, especially in my position, as we've struggled at that one this year too. Yeah, I just feel like I can't get above my can't keep any money. Like I'm just behind. I spent like $250 today to get an oil change and some new air filters and windshield wipers and yada yada. And then I drive down there and I'm at a stoplight, and like my car just kind of stalled out and like froze, which was odd. Everything turned it off, put the parking brake on, then turned it on, and everything happened. And it's like turned on and I'm almost back home, but I just have to prioritize making sure I have a car that works. Keep shuttling the girls back and forth, to and fro. And learn how to be better at like doing fun things with my kids and being a fun dad, and not being afraid to make games and take them places. I just feel so like low compared to my brother. My brother feels like the funnest dad in the entire world. Can't be because he has so much money. That helps, I'm sure, but I think maybe he just tries harder. Is not afraid to look weird, or I don't know. I feel like I've let my relationship with him and my nephews just kind of disintegrate. Didn't even have my nephew's phone number up until today. Granted, he's in 6th grade, so he hasn't had a phone for long, but I texted him happy birthday today, and he texted me back thanks, which is a normal response he would give in person. But yeah, I really screwed that up. I didn't make an effort to have a relationship with them before my kids came along. I wish I had spent more time, or just forced myself to be closer with them and my brother, and we could have like went on vacations and stuff together, but I don't want to even get into that part right now. I just not as impressed with myself as I had wished I would have been at 41, almost 42. But I wonder how many people are having these same thoughts in their head with themselves all the time, too. I don't know. Just don't have enough money. Money seems to, for me, make me feel better about myself. I don't know. I mean, earlier today I was already figuring out like I could maybe possibly like be like caught up by like 2 weeks from now, and I figured out that I'm getting paid tomorrow, and I'll get like 3 checks in this week, meaning this month, which will really help. But it's just like, geez, like if I have to look ahead to so many checks, that's all dependent on me like working that much too. I just feel like I'm shitty at my job also. Sorry for cursing. Yeah. And then I'll just, I think once I get going, I could be deprecating as all get on, and it's like I'm so like with all this not having friends and doing all this it's like I'm so selfish. Like my wife is doing so much for us all the time, and I don't even have the wherewithal to do stuff for her. Anyways, I'm done. See you guys.